This is your local news anchor, Trey Irby from the Developmental Psychology News. Good afternoon, Professor Caudill class. For today's news, we will be talking about emerging adulthood. Emerging adulthood is a new life stage extending from approximately ages 18 to 25, during which the foundation of an adult life is gradually constructed in love and work. Primary features include identity explorations, instability, focus on self-development, feeling incompletely adult, and a broad sense of possibilities. We held 7 interviews with college-age students and asked what their opinions on emerging adulthood. Now to my field reporters with their interviews.
Okay, what is your name and how old are you?
My name is Leonie Samuels and I am 22 years old.
How do you think you prepared yourself for entering emerging adulthood?
Honestly, I didn't prepare myself. I just kind of got here and I'm just, doing what adults need to do.
How has going into emerging adulthood affected your friendships?
I'd say that it kind of affected it negatively because since I want a lot for myself and this is like a time for changing and doing my own stuff, we're broken off and separated, so I'd say negatively.
And last question, how has entering emerging adulthood changed your perspective on the future and your career life goals?
I'd say that could you repeat the question?
How has entering emerging adulthood changed your perspective on the future and your career or life goals?
Okay, so entering emerging adulthood has positively changed my perspective because I used to didn't want to do anything, but now I'm okay, I got this to do. I found purpose in certain stuff now. So yeah.
What is your name and how old are you?
Okay, my name is Michaela and I'm 21 years old.
Describe what you think emerging adulthood is.
I think emerging adulthood is when you're stepping from your high school years into college and adult life.
Okay. How do you think the current education system affects the development leading up to and continuing through emerging adulthood?
I would say when, like I said, in high school, you're learning a lesson plan from your teachers, and they're giving you the information you need to step into adulthood. And then when you get into college or adulthood lifestyle, that's when you have to figure out on your own what to do and how to move around.
Let's see. How has going into emerging adulthood affected your friendships?
I would say I've grown maturity wise. My friends would normally be not mature as I am, and I'll want to do something more mature and they'll be oh, I want to do this, and it's less mature, if that makes sense.
How are you preparing yourself for entering young adulthood?
I'm preparing myself by just keeping up with day-to-day things, reading more, expanding my social skills, and
Hello. So, what is your name and how old are you?
My name is Helen Johnson. I'm 18 years old.
Good. Do you consider emerging adulthood to be less or more stressful than your previous stages of development, and why?
I think I consider it to be more stressful just because there's more responsibility involved and more you have to learn time management skills, and you have to manage relationships better, and it's just more difficult in general.
So How do you think that mental health and mental illness can affect development during emerging adulthood?
I think it can change your outlook on life, and it can also like change the way that you interact with others and like sometimes interact with yourself. And it can both like negatively affect you now and in the future, because if you go through something like that while you're still developing, it can like make things worse for you in the future. Trying to figure out how to navigate that later in life.
Gotcha. And last question is, how do you think you prepared yourself for entering emerging adulthood?
I think I did just about as much as anybody else did. I, tried to make sure I had like financial skills, I guess, just to make sure I don't waste money, or I tried to make sure I knew like how to manage my time, how to be pretty responsible, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Jason.
Alright, how old are you?
19.
19. Nice. So I would question, what in your opinion is the definition of emerging adulthood?
I'd say it's a stage that involves maturity and growth and getting out of the house and making some money.
Oh, snap.
All about the Benjamins, baby.
All about the measurements, my guy. So would you consider yourself to be an emerging adulthood?
Yes and no. Yes, in terms of me being at the age. No, in terms of like actually being like adult. Because I got responsibilities, but at the same time I don't pay bills, and so it's like yes and no basically.
Right. Have you ever been involved with like substance abuse or any type of like abuse in that type of matter?
Oh no.
Do you think that it can like affect someone in emerging adulthood?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I don't have the personal experience, but I can only like, at least imagine how that would be. So
Do you know anyone that has been through anything of that sort?
not really.
Let's do one more. What do you think is the most important factor in becoming an adult?
Making money.
Making money.
Amen.
Amen to that. Amen.
What is your name and how old are you?
I'm Jonathan Castro and I'm 19 years old.
What step in development do you think constitutes the beginning of emerging adulthood?
I would say that your financial stability, your independence entirely to make that you can support your own self without any help from others.
Okay. Do you consider emerging adulthood to be less or more stressful than your previous stages of development, and why?
I would consider it to be more stressful because you are now having to do these new things that you've never done before, and now you're in a sense of who you are, what your moral ideas are, and it's just a whole bunch of exploration.
I'm gonna ask you one more question. How do you think your family, parents, grandparents, or siblings have prepared you for emerging adulthood?
I would say just teaching me like moral things in life. Just never give up. Always reach out for help if you need it. And keep yourself on the right track, whatever you believe that is.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm good.
What is your name and how old are you?
My name is Janora and I'm 19 years old.
My first question for you. Describe what you think emerging adulthood is.
I think emerging adulthood is when you become independent, like you're not around your parents. Like for example, like come like college, you're kind of like on your own in a sense. Like you don't have like listen to like your parents because your parents are not here. You have to basically govern yourself.
My second question for you. How do you think that substance abuse can affect development during emerging adulthood?
I feel like if you
How old are you?
My name is Trey Irby, and I'm 22 years old.
Do you consider do you consider emerging adulthood to be less or more stressful than your previous stages of development, and why?
I would say it's more stressful because when I was younger, I was so dependent on my parents and like having them do everything for me, or at least helping me with everything. And so now I'm starting to finally get into the point where I'm doing it for myself and not like trying not to ask them for help. So yeah, it's more stressful.
What do you think marks the change from emerging adulthood into your young adulthood?
For me, I think finally, I would say, finally getting out of the house and paying bills, because I feel like even though you're at home, like you're still like dependent on your parents a little bit, staying with them. But once you finally get out there and start doing stuff on your own, you have to finally pull up your big adult pants and get them moving and working.
How do you think the mental health and mental illness can affect development during emerging adulthood?
I think it wouldn't affect it too bad, but it would be a negative effect to it because, like I said earlier, in my other questions, you're dependent on your parents, and now you're on your own, trying to just figure it out, figure life out, and it's not easy in this world that we're living in right now.
Right. Last question. What do you think is the most important factor in becoming an emerging adult?
I would say, like I said earlier, finally moving out and starting to live your life on your own. But once you hit that, you might have to go back with your parents, but prayerfully you won't have to. But once you get on your own in your own house or apartment, you gotta just start getting going.
Welcome to the end of our video, and what you just saw was a group of individuals reflecting on their experiences and perspective on emerging adulthood. These individuals shared their thoughts on various aspects of emerging adulthood, which includes preparation. Many felt unprepared for this stage, but tried to develop skills like management and financial responsibility. Most consider emerging adulthood more stressful than previous stages due to increased responsibilities, independence, and self-discovery. The other is family relationships. Some of these individuals experience changes in family dynamics, with parents becoming more supportive and less authoritative. The other aspect is mental health. Mental health and illness can significantly impact development during this stage, potentially affecting outlook, relationships, and future prospects. And finally, transitioning to emerging adulthood. Many of these individuals consider financial independence, moving out of their parents' home, and taking responsibilities for themselves as a major milestone in transitioning to emerging adulthood. This is the end of our video. I hope you had a great time watching. Thank you. Adulthood more stressful than previous. Oh, Jesus Christ.
My bad. It's because you.
Hello.
Young adulthood. Spanish.
Emerging. Yeah, what I think.